more hidden verdicts, no more secrets sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.
Hey folks, good morning. I debated on sharing this, but I figured we might as well. It's a good talk to talk about. It's a good time to talk about this. So we're about ready to have a press conference and I'm waiting for them to show up. And I'm thinking to myself, we live in America. We have certain laws, legislation, rules, and honestly, we are all innocent until proven guilty under the United States of America's Constitution. We have the right to a fair trial. And this is one of those things that it's going to get complicated. That if this person in custody is in fact guilty, then we are going to watch it play out in a public arena. And I'll bring you the live right now. I'll put it up on the stage for you to watch. And I'm watching with you. And I want to see what they have to say in regards to this person in custody. Now, last night, I learned early, about 5 o'clock, what this individual's name was. I researched, did my homework, and I don't know about this, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a catch-22. I really don't know about this individual that they have said they have. And until they come forward and they share with us more information, I don't know, folks. I mean, drop your comments. Have you heard the story behind this? Have you listened to this yourself? Because I'm very curious to see how all this plays out. Very, very curious. So as we watch and see what the authorities have to say about this individual that they have in custody, in fact, that's what they've said. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And as more of you join in and jump on, leave your thoughts. They did say that they have him in custody late last night, and very curious to see how this plays out. In our justice system, we are innocent until proven guilty. Yes, folks, innocent until proven guilty. What do you think? Drop it below. What do you think we're going to see play out? I mean, is this another attack on our freedoms? Is this predictive criminaling, profiling? What do you think? I'm going to see if anybody else is live. I'm going to see if anybody else is live right now, sharing. And Trump's the one that says that he's in custody. Trump is the one saying he's in custody. So why would it not be Kash Patel being the face of this? I was told this person's name is Sky V, and this was very, very late last night. as I was saying before, remember, folks, that we are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And late last night, this individual's name was not officially released. It will be now, but they were going under the name Sky V. And allegedly, his father has turned him in. There was a public cry to find him, to catch him. Obviously, Kash Patel was there in Utah and alleged that the father has turned him in. They're holding a huge press conference in the next few minutes. I mean, this has affected so many people. Just 1 hour ago, they were pleading for help, and then now the president says that the suspect is in custody. So let's see what they have to say, and welcome in. Now, I don't know when they're going to begin. I've been waiting for some time. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I decided to stream this live here. On the mainstream media, it is just really, really bad. The rhetoric and the dislike are horrible on other stations. I was actually watching it on, I don't want to say the three initials, but some of the comments and the bots are horrible, guys. They are awful over there. So let's see what they say this morning. They have put it on mute. Let's see what the officials say coming in. I do have another source. Let me see what's wrong with this. Yeah, even the comments here are really bad. Let me see if there's another source too. It says a lot of people are live about the official update. Here we go. Let's play this one instead.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Hillary Kellner. I am the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening, we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor will kick it off. Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor will kick it off. Thank you.
What in the world?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now. Show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for. In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items. We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area, around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right.
All right, we're going live.
You're right.
So yesterday afternoon, I was shared that a person named Sky with a last name that starts with V was being looked for. And that was yesterday. That was the video we just reviewed. And this is this morning.
So still no official word on the start time. We will try to give at least a 5-minute warning on that, but we'll do our best on that. So
They've got feedback. I've got a backup just in case. They've muted this one. The background noise, which is nice. I've got another backup we can watch too. But some of these comments are so wild. Mainstream media is just vile. And I'll tell you, some of these comments from all these bots flooding the channels, they're wild. Watch, I'll take this off the big screen. You can see for yourself. Watch all these comments just flood in. Look at all these bots. To the right, all these bots. I mean, I can go over to this one and share this screen and look at all the bots here. Look at all these bots on the right side. Those are not people. Those are bots. Look at that. I mean, every source that you go to. And that's exactly what they were talking about last night. Look at those pots. Same name. Look at that. It's just pure disgusting. I can't even bear to stay there. One commenter kept saying Charlie is in a box and Trump and Vance are next. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That is horrible. It has gone too far. Way too far. So I'm here. Clean. Let's keep the chat clean. Let's not spam anything, and let's listen to this live update. Hopefully they will give us a 5-minute warning before they do. Every press member is still walking in. And remember, like I've said, in America, as U.S. citizens, you are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And we have to remember that. That is our constitutional right. And just keep an open mind. Please just keep an open mind when you hear everything that you hear on mainstream media. We have seen a lot of tragedy this week. Way too much. And like I said yesterday, that video of the actual event traveled faster than any video ever in social media prior, which is desensitizing a lot of kids with their phones in their hand. I mean, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. His unaliving didn't have to be publicly shared. I understand people were there and streaming and they got it on video, but in my humble opinion, you can see him, his soul, his spirit leave his body at that moment. There was no possible way he would have survived. So alleged that his dad has turned him in. That is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but we will find out in just a few minutes. I'm sure all over social media it's saying this person with the sky, whatever, that maybe they had some type of run-in before and it was just a grudge. I mean, a lot of people hours ago were tweeting that he's the lone shooter. And we don't know. We don't know who this individual is until the authorities actually tell us. We can speculate all we want. Outlets were reporting 13 hours ago the actual name of the person. And here's an example of one. You know, these are people that are sharing this. I don't know if this is true, but this is, you know, it's on social media. It's on the mainstream media. I did see something in regards to the Economic Times on Sun, MSN. Debated Charlie a little while ago. Looks like the same individual. Possibly could be. We don't know until we find out. And it looks like they are going to be ready in a few minutes. So I'll go back to that. Yeah, I don't know about Omar. I've only heard things about Omar. But again, You know, as citizens of the United States of America, we are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. And you have to take that with a grain of salt. As we watch this play out, we'll know more information. And hopefully they will start live in a few minutes. I have another backup source just in case this one goes down. But the comments in these sections are, wow. I mean, if in fact this had something to do with alleged corruption and the truth needed to be put out there, then I can understand that. That we should live in transparency. Things should be transparent, but yet they're not in the simplest things. In the most simplest things. I mean, we look at some corruption at the highest levels in our country. And yes, it's heartbreaking. Absolutely. I'm just waiting for them to begin. I'm looking at some updated data. Looking at the court order in the Idaho 4 case. On the summary docket. Who knows when they're going to start? They said they give us a 5-minute warning. I don't see them anywhere else starting yet. I'm going to find a live stream that has less garbage and bots. I don't know if that'll be possible, but let's see. No, I don't see anything else. It's the problem. They're all mainstream media that's pushing this out here where all the bots are converging. Let me see if they have something going yet. Nope, they're showing the same screen. Well, I've got 3 backups just in case. I don't know what they're picking up. They're picking up the guy talking, closed caption. Look at this. I'm going to share this with you. This screen is picking up live caption with the guys in the background talking. Oh, they must have turned it off. So welcome in if you're watching this. We're just watching the live update from the Public Safety Center in Utah. I mean, some other smaller chats have been decent. I will say that. But I mean, even some of the smaller, I'm watching this one too, and let me show you this one. I'm watching this one, but yet still the chat was crazy. Let me see if I can show you. The chat was still pretty wild in this one. This guy is
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mike, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
dude looks like Drew Carey, younger version. I'll put myself on mute when they come on to talk, just so you guys know. Matter of fact, I'll put myself on mute now because it looks like they might be coming in. I mean, if you're in the chat, let's be respectful. Remember, in the United States, we are innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. I just ask you guys to be open-minded and kind. We've seen too many people in the history of our country. Sorry, I woke up late. Woke up early to see this update. Remember, there are plenty of people in our country's history that have been accused of crimes they have not committed, and we have the right to a fair trial, and trial by media is definitely not a good answer. I'll be watching this case as it unfolds, but I am very quietly going to stay humble and watch from a place of understanding and what we've seen in a lot of other cases. So I will remain open-minded. But what most magazines and most media are reporting is this might be somewhat alleged revenge, which I have no idea, but we will find out what they say. So if you've come from another source relaying this information, keep in mind, let's keep the chat clean and respectful. And this is a safe place to be able to voice your opinions, type your opinions, share your opinions, but also be respectful. So for anybody joining, they are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. That's what she just said.
Hello, hello, testing, testing. Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
Should be going live in a few seconds when you see the officials walk in. I'm sure it'll be the governor, Kash Patel, public safety, media, and obviously a couple of sheriffs. And we'll see what happens. Now, from what I know, this individual used to live in New Mexico, if that's the accurate information. I guess we'll learn more about who this individual is. And maybe it's true if it's the individual that I found last night from a source. If this individual, in fact, his father, Christopher, alleged, turned him in. That's the news that I was hearing late last night. So let's see exactly what happened overnight and see what they report this morning. Originally from Texas, lived in New Mexico. Don't know how they got to Utah, but that's the alleged reporting. Not confirmed yet. Did have a lengthy alleged criminal background. Just traffic violations, failure to appear. I mean, nothing really heavy. But still on the radar. No social media footprint, which I find odd. And we'll learn more in a few minutes. So everything that I just told you is alleged. We are all innocent until proven guilty in a court of law in the United States Constitution as a U.S. citizen. I'm very curious to hear what they have to say this morning. And keep in mind, if you're coming in, this is a safe place. These big media outlets that have these bots just attacking their entire feed is frustrating enough. So let's just have a safe place here to watch the news conference. And drop your thoughts. If you're watching, drop your thoughts, what you think about this. No ice? All right, let's see. We've been waiting a while for this to begin, so I've already been on for 45 minutes. I'll edit this when I repost it, so.
We will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital OWO, what's this question mark?" Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, process that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI, and we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you everybody for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country. And violence is tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk, but it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been. As sad as I have ever been. And it was, as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago, I referenced this last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option. Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the engravings on the case?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating. You talked about this level of hatred that this person expressed. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him or prompted him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
Can you compare at all how he came into custody police and where he is right now?
Yes. So right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody. That his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. Yeah, so I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry. We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here. I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is what kind of watershed, and that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. That is happening, and it's happening organically right now. I had a friend in a small city in Utah who said, we're getting together. The Republicans and Democrats in my little town are getting together to have a discussion tonight. Last night, just to find a way to find their better angels. So yes, this could be. I mean, again, you have to go back to JFK to have seen a video live of something like this happening. I wasn't born until 1975, but I know that things were really dark in the late 60s. Sorry to some of you. I know some of you were there, but this is our moment. Do we escalate, or do we find an off ramp? And again, it's a choice. It's a choice, and every one of us gets to make that choice. Two more questions right here.
Could we clarify that the release of those enhanced images at 8 p.m., the timeline that Director Patel gave us, led to the arrest at 10 p.m.? Is there a direct connection between those two events?
I cannot comment if there is a direct connection or not, but all I can say is that that through some process, the family came to know that this had happened.
One more thing, Governor. Could you just clarify the clothing issue you mentioned earlier? Was he changing outfits?
Correct. Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point, so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested, the clothing matched the clothing he had on before the shooting here at UVU. Last question here. Yes.
Suspect was freshly caught. Can you kind of tell us a little bit more about where and was he a student here at this university, and is there any history of mental illness?
Yeah. So I don't have any information on the mental illness part. He was not a student here at UVU. He was living and had lived for a long time with his family in Washington County, in the southernmost part of our state. Thank you, everyone, for your great work in getting this information out. I just say, process-wise, this may be important. I know many of you aren't familiar with the process in Utah. I think it's important that you understand that basically we have 3 days for charging documents to be filed. A CI will be filed. We'll have more information then, more detailed information as those charging documents are filed in preparation for a preliminary hearing. So 3 days. So we would anticipate then that early next week those charging documents will be filed. We will obviously be working. The county attorney will be working very closely with Mr. Kirk's family as those documents and decisions are prepared and made. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so we just got done watching that, and yeah, there's a lot of coincidence, Beck. There have been several that I've caught. But let me say this. These people look like ordinary families. They look like they are just you and me living in hometown America, and now they have this 22-year-old that's been arrested. There are some videos out there on Dad's social media. Mom doesn't seem to have any social media right now. I don't know if they cut word or, most women are on social media. And, they had some really good points at this press conference, especially about the violence on social media. And if you were in the chat earlier, I had been watching live myself and thought, you know what, I'm going to go live because some of these comments in the chat had just been really, really horrible. So, I could play a video or two, but I'm going to have to mute it.
Got everything I need. I'm blessed. Got love all around me. When times get tough, I tell myself it's okay. I'ma be all right. I'm blessed.
So, very average, standard family living in Utah. I don't know how to mute this. Here it is. I did this one.
It's a beautiful day.
And you can see, just an average working hard class family. And it's terrible to see something like this happen in our backyards. And when I say that, you heard the governor. He basically said, one of our own. They are taking accountability. They are taking responsibility. They are being transparent. And is this a backlash of the current things that are happening in our country, in our news, in our mainstream news? Is this a signal or a sign that, hey, keep keep your focus on us, right? I mean, we're all looking for answers in a lot of different things, but this 22-year-old kid, 22-year-old, had enough nerve, gall, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but this chaos to throw in mainstream media after the recent, like I talked about a few days ago, the stabbing and all the things that we've been seeing on video. So I looked under the Washington County to see if they had been booked, and I don't see anything in regards to his booking yet. So I know they said they have 3 days to charge. They're working with the county prosecutors, but I have not seen any arrest pictures, booking, public information yet. So, you know, I don't know. We're just going to have to see, watch, listen, and use our spidey senses to see if this is not some type of pull to basically alleged, I don't want to say psyop, but I want to say psyop because of the fact how Americans right now are feeling about our justice system. And keep in mind, this kid still has the United States Constitution back behind him, innocent until proven guilty. We don't know. We don't know. We do not know. And I feel like for a while, in my humble opinion, it is my opinion only, that perhaps someone is doing this to further the agenda of tightening our constitutional rights. And that's just my humble opinion. That is purely my speculation. They found this guy using tips and social media very quickly, but then turn around and tell people, well, there's too much violence. And yes, there are tons of bots on social media. Who buys and pays for them? We don't know. But they put the BS out there all day long. It's horrible. I mean, I'm going to use this as an example. And this is an example only. Okay. If you have not seen, I think it's like right in our faces, guys. It's right there. And I want to put a disclaimer out there. If you have not seen this documentary, Unknown Number, this is wild. And I don't want to give you a spoil alert, but this Unknown Number on Netflix, this young girl and this young guy dating in high school, and it turns out that somebody was harassing, stalking, lewd, just horrible things to this girl. I mean, I couldn't even watch it. I was like so shocked that they even put this on streaming service because it was just so vile. Some of the things this individual was saying to this young, impressionable young woman, obviously in high school, was just so vile. In this documentary proves my point and what I'm saying. This young girl, it turns out to be her mother doing these things. And this is my point to this whole thing that we're seeing played out right now. Who could be behind doing these things? Who? Exactly, Caleb. In some cases, you can't get transparency. You get sealed records, sealed documents. And then here they come out and say, wait, you have to trust us. You have to understand that there's a process to this madness. You have to understand basically that, this is truly we're telling you the truth. We want you to be, listening to us and focusing on us. And you know what? I'm going to share this, but I'm not going to, it's public record, but I want you to take a look at this family. I want you to take a look at this family that I just showed you. And I want you to keep in mind, innocent until proven guilty. And no matter how this plays out in the next few days, I want you to remember that is our constitutional right. Innocent until proven guilty. All right. I could probably go out there and do some type of poll. Do you think this guy's guilty right now? And a lot of people will say, well, we don't have enough information. And I would agree. We don't have enough information. Okay. And I want you to see this for what it is. Remember, Hollywood died years ago during COVID. They just basically, no funding, no movies. It made it very difficult for the industry to work and produce movies. Then all of a sudden we see streaming. They're doing on smaller sets, less characters. And I just want you to remember, in the Idaho 4 case, he pled guilty to avoid the death penalty, which they would not take off the table. And if you don't understand our justice system, the prosecuting attorney has to prosecute. They have to prosecute their case within a certain amount of time. And in death penalty cases, this takes years. By no means were they ready to go to court, but they got them in the back of a corner and basically got a plea deal out of them, which you can always go back and ask for PCR relief if you are factually innocent, which we're finding out that Koberger is factually innocent, guys. So when you start looking at this new case that they brought us, you have to remember, and I'm going to share this. This is public information. This is the family home. And if you take a look at this family home that's listed public record, you can see that this is a normal looking family. Very well kept, very loving, family values. You can look inside someone's home and see what they're raising there. This does not look like, to me, the kind of what they are portraying. And when I say that, I want to say, look at the family that they were raising. Were they hunters? Probably. Were they gaming and fishing? Absolutely. I just showed you a Mexico trip the family went on. Yes, they're hunters. There's signs that they're hunters. That doesn't mean that they're going to go out and hunt individuals. We have to learn from the lessons that we've already seen. You saw Koberger's apartment. Nothing. No fibers, no hair, no DNA, no victims, nothing from the dog. The FBI has said that in a report. There was nothing. There was nothing. And you have to look at a family and decide, is this maybe somebody who would do something like this? Where did they get this guy's name from when, in fact, the whole social media spread news that some guy named Alexandria Schuyler V, transvestite, was the individual that did it, which was totally wrong. And if it was, did they switch to another person? Is that even possible? Alleged? Is that possible that they would do this to put our trust back into their trust? Is that something that could be possible? Is this story believable, in my humble opinion? Is it believable that our country is on the brink of destruction from the leftists, from the trans community, from the people who are labeled to be violent and hateful? Is that a possibility? I mean, these are questions that we should be asking ourselves in our own communities. Do I know my neighbor? Would my neighbor be, that vile or that vicious? I mean, I do my own homework. I check out things. I question the unthinkable because that's my nature. That is clearly my nature. And is this something that they're putting out in front of us now to mitigate some of what is happening on the back end of our country, like financial ruin. You know, I mean, look at the families that are struggling right now. Look at the companies. Look at our economy. Look at all this backlash from the policies of immigration. And what are they trying to take the focus off? What do they want us to take a look at? Trust us, we're the government, we're here to help. Or is it because, and I thought about this long and hard a few years ago, and I will share it. You know, I thought about, does our fellow man, is this violence really happening in our own backyard? And I started looking at statistics, and, you know, violence is not on the rise. You know what's on the rise? Homelessness. And I thought to myself, why would they be showing this at every social media turn, every news channel, every nationwide channel? Why do we have the focus on crime now? Crime, and more crime. I mean, coming from a, you know, individual that's looks into true crime to see and validate if what something is true or not, and double checking, because there are no checks and balances in our world with the news. You know, there's checks and balances that Meta, Facebook, years ago tried to put in place with fact checkers, right? Who were the fact checkers? Bots, AI? They weren't individual people going out and searching for the truth. They just weren't. Because I know that when I posted stuff back then on Facebook, I was tagged as misinformation, and I'm like, "Great, I've got the legal documents right here to prove that you guys are wrong. Put my post back up. Knock it off, Facebook." But no, they coded it as misinformation. And I'm like, wait a minute. I have the actual facts here. What in the world is going on social media? Everyone is welcome in here. This is a safe place, because this is what we do. We talk about these issues at hand that they are pushing in front of our faces. This was not just on social media. This was on nationwide news. This was on national TV, on news stations everywhere. So when you look at this, yeah, Lisa, I agree. Crime sales are huge. Because why? It's that curiosity that we have as individuals, as humans in our minds, that can't wrap around why another person would do this to another person. It's that evil, that violence. And unfortunately, there are not a lot of people that are violent people. They want us to think the world's gone to hell in a handbag because of all the violence. See, our nation of America, our neighbors, we are not known to be violent people, but other countries that are facing homelessness, that are under political attack, are truly those that violence happens on a daily basis. It's part of their culture. It's part of their culture. And like I've always stated, people will just follow what they're told, and they will board the train. And that train, in the yesteryears or olden days or whatever you want to say, those trains led these people to camps where they were exterminated. I mean, how in the world did some people avoid that situation? Right? I think every single one of us, whether what our backgrounds, whether we're male or female, I think there has to be some common ground to where we have some empathy or humanness about us, not to incite violence. But see, I think our enemies have found a way to infiltrate our households, our children. And yes, that is through some social media platforms. And I use the example of this unknown caller because of the fact that it was her own mother who was doing these things to her. This young woman, Lauren, she was getting all these anonymous messages and they couldn't figure out. It went on for almost a year and 8 months, I believe. It was truly horrible. And this young girl finds out that it was her mother that was doing this. It was like some social media Munchausen's, right? That basically just kept saying, you know, the girl would get these messages, come home and tell her mom, and mom would feel like she was needed. Was the daughter blocking out mom completely because of her boyfriend and social media and school and sports and activities? Probably. I mean, in my humble opinion, yeah. But it was a way for the mother to gain some, I don't know, attention from her daughter once again, which was just really mentally sick, in my humble opinion. And she didn't think it was a big deal. Even when they confronted her and were like, hey, you're the one that's stalking your own daughter. You're the one that's harassing your own daughter. She was released on parole. She was. She'll be supervised until February 26th. She did get some type of incarceration. She was charged. But, you know, I mean, here's the proof that she did get charged with it. You know, and it's kind of scary because it just blows my mind how someone could do this to their own child. She did have the offense of stalking a minor. Stalking a minor, guys. It took them 2 years to sentence her. And then she had a year and 7 months for stalking. And they gave her a plea deal. Her own mother did this. Her own mother. And they gave her a plea deal. They didn't want to go to trial. They publicly humiliated her and did everything they wanted. But look, I mean, I'll show you. I don't have a problem sharing. She did this to her own daughter. She served, and look, they offered a plea deal, conviction type plea deal on stalking a minor. And she was sentenced. The max was 5. She got 1 year and 7 months. So she's on parole. And she will be supervised until 2026. But this was just one of those situations where I thought, could this possibly be, since I question the unthinkable, is someone behind these high-level situations? Are they doing this to gain our attention and our trust? I saw the video of Assassin reading the scholarship from UHV. He throws his scholarship away. Well, there's others deserving of scholarships that don't get them. What a waste. Wow, I haven't seen that. It seems like our justice system is hell-bent on rewarding evil. Yeah, and it's one of those things, Lisa. It's just one of those things that possibly it is. Like a sheep in wolf's clothing, right? Or is it a wolf in sheep's clothing? Which one is it? It depends on how you look at it. I can do this and get away with it, and it's only going to cost me a little. I mean, this girl wasn't working at all. She didn't care if she was going to have a criminal charge or a background. You know, on the documentary, her husband is thoroughly upset with her, and he finds out that she basically hasn't worked in a while, and stalking her daughter has become a full-time job. She also pleaded in her agreement, in her plea deal, to not see her daughter. So she's, you know, obviously out of sight, out of mind, and not being able to continue to, I mean, think about the mental status her daughter was in when she found out her own mother was doing this to her. It's like a really bad relationship, toxic. And then she says, Kendra believes that unknown number, she said it in the documentary, that she believes her and her daughter can mend their relationship, telling filmmakers, we both know that we're with each other no matter what. That's not healthy. In my humble opinion, that is just not healthy. Yeah, she pled guilty to 2 counts of stalking. The other charges were dismissed. Well, what were the other charges? It didn't, I mean, I can go back and look at the official record, but it says that the charges that she was sentenced with and charged with is stalking a minor on, that's it. That is it. 2 charges of stalking a minor. Why would she only get 2 charges of stalking a minor if she did this for almost 18 months? Obviously, there's more to the story that we've not been privy to, but this goes to show you that you can push the limits with the criminal justice system and see if you can get away. I mean, I don't think this person knew anything really about the background of the criminal justice system until they were put in the middle of it. It's wild. It is wild. And if there are any hate groups affiliated or stuff of that nature, that'll all come out. It won't come out on mainstream media. They're not going to show that right in our faces. Those are things that you'll have to dig on and try to flesh out the truth. I didn't see any. Yeah, the documentary is called Unknown Caller. And yeah, she survives. They didn't give any update on her, but I'm sure that she is pretty much scarred for life. I mean, if you think about your own mother doing this stuff in your teenage years in high school, you're athletic, you're in clubs, you're dating a really nice guy that was just awful. I couldn't even finish watching the rest of the documentary after I learned what the mother was doing. I was just sickened. And that's something to say about genetics there. If you're a mom, you know what it's like to carry a child for 9 months. That child becomes a part of you, a living entity, a part of you. The cellular structure is ingrained in every single cell, a part of you. And, they even say, the experts say that when your own child passes, you feel that pain forever for the rest of your life, because that is a living organism, a cellular structure that is your external entity. And you feel that pain for your entire life. It's like, have you ever had your child come to you with an ouchie or cut or any injury, and you're like, the pit of your stomach, it's like, ow, it hurts for me because I see you hurting. That's exactly how our bodies, our cellular structure, that connection, that's how strong that connection is. And some dads will never feel that because they don't know what it's like to carry a baby for 9 months. That is what pain is. When your child is injured, it's constant. I mean, I've read articles and I've seen shows where, people have lost their children. And the mothers especially, the pain is hard to overcome. It is a burden. But the dads never feel that same way because they don't know what it's like to carry a baby. So happy Friday, you all. I got up extra early to watch this live. I brought it to you. If you've just tuned in, I am going to edit this live. We waited 45 minutes or so for the live to come on. But I just want to say, I don't know what the truth is behind this. I haven't seen any booking yet for this individual. It was not what we were told last night. And you know what? At the end of the day, we need to pray for our fellow Americans. We need to pray for this family. We are innocent until proven guilty. And that happens to be in a court of law in our country under our United States justice system and the Constitution. So if anything, we should be praying for this family, that they have announced that their son, Tyler Robinson, is in fact in custody for the heinous crime of what he did to Charlie Kirk just a few days ago. And if this is true, we will need a lot of discernment in watching this play out in our country right in front of our eyes. So like I said, we should be doing everything we can to pray for this family. And if this is the case, if this is in fact the turning point in our country to realize and discern if this is the truth, well then so be it. And hopefully we'll be kinder to one another. And whoever has infiltrated our social media, these bots, these individuals that try to divide, I pray that we are still united, that we can at least pray for this family. I would not want to be in their shoes. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you later on. And I thank you so much, every single one of you that's tuned in. Be well. And I have to shout out to the replay crew. You guys are freaking amazing. I'll edit this and then I'll put it back up. And stay strong out there, folks. Stay strong. Be kind. Be well.
No more hidden verdicts, no more secrets sold. Every voice is a weapon, every story be told. Innocent till proven guilty, that's our final decree. Under this Constitution we stand forever free. Phoenix in the dawn, truth ignites the sky. Together we stand tall, no more asking why.